Are Democrats seizing on a position of payback, so to speak, against this president who tried to delegitimize President Obama with the whole birther movement, denying a hearing for Supreme Court nominee Merrick Garland? And if so, what's the risk in doing that?
Well, the fact of the matter is, without all of that, and I mean, those were outrageous kinds of actions that he took, you know, talking about Obama was not born in this country, et cetera, et cetera. What he has done since he has been president has been outrageous. He has not provided legitimate leadership. And this last action that he was involved with Nunes, and I mean, I do believe that he was involved, they concocted a scheme by which it would appear that somehow his accusation about being wiretapped was real, and he tried to convert that into talk about possible surveillance where his people were picked up, you know, doing surveillance. And so he has done so many things to show that he doesn't understand government. He's not willing to learn. He doesn't learn from his mistakes. Instead of learning, he gets up the next morning and tweets something else all over again. Most people believe that he's about diversion, that he's about keeping people from really dealing with the issue. We want to know whether or not there was collusion. We want to know about the hacking into the DNC and the interference with our elections. And I really want to know, because I know if we can prove collusion, that he is impeachable. A lot of people don't want to talk about that, but I do. I want to talk about him. I want to talk about this Kremlin clan that's around him. And I think that those people, Republicans, people in some of the small towns and rural communities that are standing with him now, they're not going to be able to stand with him when they understand the danger he is to our country.